So there was, in the middle section of the race, there was all these little sort of tussles going on that we were treated to. I didn't feel like there was a point where the race took a bit of a lull. There's a lot of races where I know that we had a big ramp up at the end, but in a lot of races, there's usually a sort of a middle section of the race where everyone's pitted and everyone's got their race pace slowly figured out. And that kind of didn't happen here. We had lots of little tussles going on. And I feel like that really showed just how tight it is in the performance between the cars in the midfield, and just how the experience of some drivers in what might be slower cars compared to younger and less experienced drivers in faster cars was really coming together to build some very exciting racing indeed.
I think the pit stop strategy as well had a massive impact on the race, because we had cars doing a 1-stop, 2-stop and 3-stop. So at any given point, we had loads of different cars on hugely different strategies. Some people trying to preserve their tyres and get an extra 10 laps, but others going, right, I've only got these for the next 10 laps. I need to go as fast as I can, as quick as I can, and overtake as many people. It was great to see, because it was just overtakes everywhere, close battles. It was brilliant. And last year we put down Vettel quite a lot with regards to his racecraft and his qualifying pace, and generally that performance of the Ferrari did not do him any favours. And I know ultimately he didn't have the best weekend in the world or of his career, but actually he made some great overtakes. He was defending well, wheel-to-wheel racing, which came out clean. I got glimpses of Vettel being comfortable in a car, which is absolutely great. Just unfortunately later on in the race, probably due to the fact his tyres were 190 laps old and, he had no traction. But, we'll get onto that later on, how he rear-ended someone. It was just good to see Vettel almost feeling comfortable with himself. It was good to see him racing and not get mugged by every car which isn't a Ferrari.
Yeah, he did. He did show a few moments of strength. We already mentioned when he was fighting around lap 20 for P8, and he showed a bit of comfortable, but he was just a bit too inconsistent again. Shortly later, when he was fighting with Alonso and Raikkonen, who were behind him, I think he locked up into turn 1 on his older mediums and lost a couple of places there. And then, when was it that he collided with Ocon? That's a bit later on, isn't it? That's sort of in the closing stages of the race. So yeah, it was just a bit inconsistent. He had a really good start, and it just seemed to be all a little bit downhill from there. Also,
he boxed on lap 25.
Yeah, he did obviously stay out on his one stopper, and they tried a different strategy. I don't know if that was his call or the team's call. Either way, it seemed like the wrong call, because he just seemed to spend the whole race struggling. And yeah, some of that is obviously with his tyres, and but also generally he just seemed to be not entirely comfortable on those tyres that he was on for most of the race. So I think he really struggled because of that, and a few moments of old Vettel, but not nearly enough to say that he's really feeling fully comfortable in that car yet. And it will take some time, I think, to be certain of exactly how he feels with that AMR 21.